All right, today we're tackling a big question. How do you get your foot in the door of the super competitive world of venture capital? We're going to zero in on a role that's become a really exciting gateway, the venture scout. So let's just get right to it. You've looked at the world of VC, right? You see the huge deals, all the innovation, and you've probably thought, man, how do I get in on that? It can feel like this super exclusive club with a velvet rope and a bouncer. Well, here's the thing. There is a path in that. That doesn't mean you have to write a massive personal check. A way to use what you already have, your network, your expertise, your gut feeling for talent, to actually get a seat at the table. And that, my friends, is what being a venture scout is all about.
So, what is a venture scout really? Think of yourself as a talent spotter for a VC firm. You're their eyes and ears out in the wild, finding these amazing, high-potential startups way before they hit the mainstream. You connect them to the firm, and here's the kicker. If that company you found takes off, you get a piece of the profits.
Okay, that sounds pretty awesome, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you go from being on the outside looking in to being an official scout for a venture firm? Let's break down how you get your foot in the door.
So, there are basically two main ways this happens. First up, you've got public applications. These are great because the firm is literally telling you what they're looking for. They'll have open online forms, and often they're hunting for people who are experts in a very specific industry. The other path, that's the invitation-only route. This one's tougher. It usually requires a warm intro from someone the VC already trusts, and it's for people who've already got a proven track record of finding winners.
Now, those public programs, they're an amazing place to start. And they'll often give you the power to write checks somewhere in this range. I mean, just think about that. You've got the backing of a major VC firm, and you get to invest their money into a company you truly believe in. That's a huge deal and a powerful way to start building your own reputation in the industry.
All right, so you know the ways in. Now the big question, how do you make sure you're the one they pick? To really stand out, you have to build a profile that just screams, I find great companies. Let's talk about exactly how you do that.
There are 3 key things you can start doing like today. Number 1, network strategically. Don't just collect business cards. Go to demo days. Get active in startup communities where the actual founders are hanging out. Second, create content. Start a newsletter, a podcast, whatever. Write about what's happening in your industry. This shows people you're not just a fan. You're a real expert. And third, if you're able to, start angel investing yourself. Even putting in small amounts shows you have skin in the game. It proves you believe in your own eye for talent.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Listen to Samar Yusuf from BLCVC. He says this is exactly how you get noticed. It's all about embedding yourself so deep in the startup world that the firms can't help but see you. And all of that work, the networking, the content, it all leads to this one absolutely crucial thing, building high-quality deal flow. What does that mean? It means seeing amazing companies before anyone else does. That unique access, that's your golden ticket. It is, without a doubt, the most valuable thing you can bring to a VC firm. Okay, let's get to the part everyone's curious about, the money. How does finding the next unicorn actually turn into a payday for you? Because it works a little differently than your typical 9-to-5. The magic word you need to know is carried interest, or just carry for short. Now, this isn't a salary, it's your slice of the profits from a successful investment. Here's the catch, though. You only get paid when there's a big exit, like the company gets bought or goes public. That can take years, but the payoff? On a home run deal, this is literally how fortunes are made. But carry isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. There are a few different ways it can work. The classic model is carry-based, where you earn a percentage of the profits. It's a long game for sure, but it has the biggest potential reward. Some programs offer a cash-based model, where you get an upfront fee, which is nice and immediate. Others are equity-based, meaning you get a direct slice of the startup itself. And for the real go-getters, some firms will even let you run your own little microfund, giving you a ton of control. To really feel the power of carry, you have to see it in action. Let's look at a legendary example. You've probably used that browser extension, Honey, right? The one that finds you coupons? Well,
Mucker Capital was one of its earliest investors. When PayPal bought Honey, Mucker Capital's investment turned into $280 million from a single deal. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is the kind of insane return you're hunting for in venture. So what does that mean for the scout who found that deal? Well, let's just do some back-of-the-napkin math. A pretty standard 5% carry on a deal like that, you're talking about a seven-figure payout for one introduction. Now, are deals like this common? No way. They're incredibly rare. But that potential, that home run shot, is what drives the whole industry. Okay, so you're in the door, you know how you get paid. Now for the million-dollar question. How do you actually get good at spotting the winners? When you're looking at a startup, you gotta start thinking like a VC. It comes down to a few key questions. First, the founding team. Are these people obsessed? Are they resilient enough to survive the chaos of building a company? Second, product market fit. Is there actual proof that customers need this thing? Not just want it, but need it. Then look at the market size. Is the total addressable market big enough to support a billion-dollar company? And finally, the unit economics. Can they actually make money on each customer, or is the business model a leaky bucket?
You know, Lolita Taub from Gonis Ventures puts it perfectly. This is your job. Your whole purpose is to be that first filter, to analyze these things and bring only the truly promising companies to your fund.
And to see how firms really motivate their scouts, check out this program from Allied Venture Partners. They offer their scouts a whopping 20% of the firm's carried interest on deals they bring in. That is an incredibly generous slice of the pie. And get this, if you decide to invest your own cash alongside the funds, they don't take any carry on your personal investment. It's a structure that aligns everyone perfectly towards one goal: finding and funding the absolute best companies. I love this quote from Matt Macinus because it gets to the absolute core of what it means to be a great scout. It's not just about finding deals. It's about earning so much trust that you become the person founders call before they go raise. That's the level you're aiming for. You're an insider, a trusted advisor. So when we put it all together, what's the big takeaway? Yes, you need the skills to break down a business plan. But the real secret sauce, the thing that leads to long-term success, is building genuine relationships. Because those relationships are what give you exclusive access to the deals no one else can find. And I'll leave you with one final thing to chew on. Finding a great startup is hard, but it's doable. The real art form, the next level of this game, is finding the perfect startup investor fit. It's about more than just a great company. It's about matching that specific company with the right fund at the right time with the right partners. Can you do that? That's the question that separates the good scouts from the truly great ones.